This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting the session now. So let us start with the session. My name is Srinivas. I'm the founder of the institute. I look into front-end domain aspects. So shortly we'll talk about what is front-end domain, what is back-end domain. So then we'll go into the demo session. In case some of you have already seen the demo video, there is a demo video. You might see, you might feel almost it's similar content, okay? Because the demo content doesn't change much, right? Idea of demo session is to give you an overview of what is the training and how the training will be planned, everything. So basically this demo session is for 4 domains.
Sir,
Yeah, please tell me. Yeah,
sir, your voice is very low. Can you increase the
my
volume?
voice. No, I think mine from my side it's fine. Even others are facing same issue where my audio is low.
No, sir.
No, sir. It's clear.
Yeah,
It's
can you
clear.
please
No,
check the
sir.
person who is seeing the issue? Maybe your system audio is low. Okay, because I have kept it to the maximum, even in system and even in my other microphone thing. Okay.
Okay, sir, I will check.
So today's demo session is focused on majorly 4 aspects. I mean, we divide all the courses into 2 categories. One is the front-end domain courses. One is the back-end domain courses. So if I have to list down other courses, there will be around 10 courses: FPGA, RTL, synthesis, STA, physical design, DFT, custom layout, functional verification. We can't do 10 demo sessions, right? It's very difficult to do 10 demo sessions. What we do is we do 2 demo sessions. One is for all the courses related to front-end domain, and there is a demo session that is planned for back-end domain courses also. That is on 25th of September. So today's demo session is for functional verification training. Like some of you might have enrolled for RTL design and verification training. It is also same as ASIC verification. It is also called as front-end domain training. I mean, the same training is being given different names because people come with different names. Someone says I need ASIC verification training. Someone says I need front-end domain training. They all refer to the same aspect. Now, when you come to the second one, it is different. RTL design integration is a different domain altogether because this part is common. You see, RTL design and RTL design is common, but there is something called as integration we do. That is significantly different from what we do in functional verification training. Then we have a third domain called as DFT training, which stands for design for testability. And the fourth domain is FPGA training. All these domains are important. Why this is important is many times it is important for you to know what are the job opportunities in different domains. Let's say if I talk about FPGA training, there are very few institutes who offer training in FPGA training. And if you see the market, there are a lot of opportunities. There is a huge, Abhishek, please close the door. Okay. So if you see, there is a big imbalance between FPGA opportunities and the number of people who undergo training. I mean, that is something you have to look at. I mean, the context is, see, I met one big services company. I mean, let's name it itself, Capgemini. Okay. They said they want 50 FPGA engineers in next 6 months or 8 months, whatever. And they don't have anyone to provide the candidates itself. So you have to look at that perspective. I'm not telling that go for FPGA training anything. You always look at that perspective and where you have better chance of getting job. And now, if you ask from FPGA perspective, are there no companies who work in FPGA? There is almost 20% of the work happens in FPGA. So how does the work distribution happens? If there are 100% activity, 80 to 85% into, let's say, ASIC. Around 15 to 20% into. So look from that perspective also. But anyway, today's training will give you an overview of everything. What I'm trying to tell is, do not blindly go by someone said that go for physical design, go for DFT, go for functional design. Try to understand what is what, which domain will be interesting for me. Accordingly, also you can choose. Some of you might be looking, some of you might have enrolled for DFT training. I mean, the people in demo session might be for DFT training, might be for FPGA training also, even might be for this domain also. What we will be doing is, in case someone is specifically looking for DFT training, at 4:30 p.m. today, there is a DFT specific demo session. We divide the demo session into two categories, two parts. One is to give you a basic overview. What is the institute? What are the placements? Other aspects of the institute. Second will be the domain specific training. So in today's session, what I'm going to do from 9:30 to 1 o'clock or 12:30, it will be mostly focused on this aspect. Initial 1.5 hours will be focused on generic aspects. I mean, little bit about what is the domain, what all aspects are there, everything. Then later part will be more into question and answers and probably things specific to functional verification. If you need something very specific to DFT training, there is a demo session at 4:30. Again, if you need someone wants specific to FPGA, you can connect to us. I mean, WhatsApp to 9986194191. Please make a note of this number. Asking for FPGA demo schedule. Now, why we didn't plan for DFT? I know that there are almost 15 people who want to attend. Hence, we have already scheduled. For FPGA, we don't have many students. I mean, maybe there are hardly 2-3. So we are also not sure whether they are serious or not. So in case you want to attend, we will arrange a demo tomorrow. You let us. You just send a WhatsApp saying that I want FPGA demo schedule. Okay. Now same thing for RTL integration also. Typically for RTL design integration, mostly experienced engineer enroll for this. So that's the reason. So we haven't planned any demo as such. In case, again, if you are interested, do the same thing. If you are interested for RTL design integration, WhatsApp to this number asking for RTL course demo schedule. So our manager will reply back to you that he will schedule and he will inform you. Okay, that will be done today and tomorrow itself. Whatever, let's say it will be DFT is anyway scheduled. We will be scheduling FPGA training also tomorrow based on the candidate availability. Now, some of you might be interested in backend domain. There is a demo session tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Now, if you see, I'm using two terminologies. One is front-end domain, one is back-end domain. Let us primarily understand the difference between what is front-end domain and what is back-end domain. As you see, a front-end domain is a more of programming-oriented job. I mean, see, in VLSI, if you understand the VLSI, there are almost 10 to 15 domains out there. Based on the way you classify the things, you can understand the whole thing as around 10 to 15 domains. It starts from requirements. I mean, where you figure out what is the requirement of an electronic device. Let's say I want to manufacture a laptop. What are the requirements of a laptop? What kind of USB port do I need? What kind of HDMI port I need? What kind of display I need? What kind of processor I need? Okay, what kind of SD card interface I need? Like that, everything I come up with the requirements. Even the audio, what kind of audio do I need? Everything I come up, right? That becomes the requirements. The requirements are input to the architect. It's similar to house construction. When you want to construct a house, whom do you go first? You go to the architect, right? What do you tell to architect? You won't say just I need house. What will you say? These are my requirements. This is how big my site is. This is how my house I want. This many rooms I want. Everything you will tell, right? Then he will, according to your requirement, he will give. He won't have a generic diagram and he won't give you. He will draw as per your requirement. He'll give you. Will he give only one paper to you? Or a lot of things he will give you. I mean, where to place the pillars, where to place plinth. Lot of things he will give you for each and every detail. This is what our architect also does. Even in chips, in VLSI, there is a person by name chip architect. What he will do, he will give you the complete architecture diagram. Architecture diagram means how my design is going to look like. If I have to show you one diagram, a sample diagram. Okay. We can just go to Google and just say SOC architecture diagram. Something like this. See various blocks, how they are connected, what is the interconnect, different things he will give this diagram. Other than that, he will give details about a detailed specification about what those blocks are, how they are connected, everything. Okay, let's not get deep into this. Just understand that a diagram which tells the complete architecture, a document which tells everything about how that design behaves. Now, once you have that in house construction, what do you do? Once house architect gives you the diagram, where will you go? You will go to a contractor or a mestri who is going to take it forward. Same way, we have someone called as RTL design team. In VLSI, there is someone called as RTL design team. Rather, we call them as design team only. We call them as design team. Then why the term RTL comes is, they use a concept called as RTL coding, register transfer level coding, to implement the behavior. Hence, we call them as RTL design team, because there can be many design teams: physical design team, custom layout design team, RTL design team. So because of that, we can't use the term generic term design team. Hence, we use the term RTL design team. What RTL design team does, they use Verilog language, either Verilog or VHDL language, to implement the design behavior as per the above architecture and specifications. Whatever architecture and specifications provided, they will implement the design. Like in our construction, who was doing Mestri, right? What he would do, he will take the architecture diagram, he will take the different documents provided as part of the architecture, and he will start construction. Will he do without referring to them? No, right? For him, everything becomes the input. Same way, they use something called as Verilog and VHDL language to implement the design behavior. What is the output of this stage? A Verilog code, a big code, which tells everything, which has implemented this behavior. This becomes input to the next stage. See, whatever Verilog code you generated, that becomes input to the next stage. So who takes that input? RTL integration team. What is the term integration means? In a simple terms, integration means, I'll give you a very simple example. Like you see metro construction work happening. Right? What do they do in metro construction work? Do they put all the cement and everything there itself? What do they do? Somewhere outside the city, they construct all the lot of things, right? Many things, and they put together, and what they are doing, integrating, assembling everything and constructing the metro grids, right? That is what integration team also does. What they do is they get many blocks as an input. In this case, they get this block as an input, this block as an input, this block as an input, this block. Put together, they create one block. Similarly, they get these blocks as input. They put together, construct one bigger block. So what is the integration means? Just give me 1 minute, we'll be on mute, some background noise is there. This is the significance of integration, where someone has already implemented smaller modules, and they give me. And what I do, I put together everything and I create a bigger module. Like this is also integration, top level integration, where small blocks I got, and I'm integrating and I'm creating a bigger module. And that is finally what is getting manufactured as a chip. The mobile phone that you use, the chip that goes into it is something like this, complex thing like this. Okay, it was various people created small blocks, then that was integrated to get a bigger block. That is what we call as SOC. SOC stands for what? System on chip. Then, so multiple blocks of Verilog code integrated to get bigger block. Then we have, once it is done, this becomes input to the next stage. This becomes input to next stage. What is the next stage? Functional verification. And that is the focus area of today's session. Okay. What is functional verification? Is the term tells functional verification. Functional means functionality. You are verifying the functionality. You are verifying the design functionality. Here we use system Verilog and UVM languages to do the verification. Means what are you trying to verify is, going back to house construction. What is that we are trying to verify is, we are trying to check, you call one third person in the house construction, where you show him this is the architecture given by architect. This is the house that has been constructed, a basic structure. I mean, they still haven't done the paint, they still haven't done anything, tiles, anything. Basic structure has been created. The third person is going to check, see the diagram and check whether is it done as per the diagram. Let's say, is the pillar has come in the right place or not? Are the walls constructed with the proper width or not? I'm just giving you a simple analogy, okay? Don't think literally like that. Okay. So the role of a functional verification engineer is to check whether this Verilog code and this Verilog code, has it been done as per whatever has been mentioned here? His role is what? To check whether has it been done as per the architecture diagram and as per the specification of part. Once it is done, we know that functionally it is working fine. If you see till this stage, from line number 28 to line number 40, what we do is very similar to even in software design and testing, they do the same process, nothing different. It's just that in software they use C, C++ and different languages. In VLSI we use Verilog and system Verilog language to do the same thing, but otherwise based on what you do, it is very similar to the software. I mean, in software also, this aspect till this point it's similar. Okay. Then only comes the difference from here. What is the difference is, in software we use the software as it is. Like whatever software you develop, you compile it, you install as an application into a final product. Let's say you go to restaurant, there is a billing software. The billing software is developed in some language like C or C++. It was compiled and put into the machine and it is getting executed. Right? Same way you go to bank, they have a banking application. Right? Maybe some company, Infosys, developed it. What they are doing, Infosys probably use C, C++ or Java to develop it, and they have installed it, and the bank is using that. So the point here is, software don't need to be converted into a chip. You don't need to bring the software into any physical format. Whereas in VLSI, in the chip design, once you have reached till this stage, from here you need to take it through a process where you finally make a chip out of it. Whatever you have done, coding, you have done everything, that need to be converted into this Verilog coding we are talking about. This need to be converted into a chip. That process we are calling as back-end domain. That aspect we are calling as what? Back-end domain. Now, is it like magic that it will just happen? You just take code and a chip will automatically come? No, right? They have to go through a very complex process. That complex process is like, we need to start with synthesis. See, we need to convert this Verilog code into a chip. That is what our final goal is. That entire flow is called as VLSI backend flow. So whatever you have done till this stage is called as what? Front-end domain. So that is the major difference. So where does that front-end backend differ? This is front-end. This is backend. In backend, it starts with one important step called as synthesis. What synthesis does is, Verilog code is converted into a gate level format. First, you need to bring a Verilog language which is written using something like begin, end, always, if, condition, case statement, different syntax they would have used. That need to be brought into gate level format. In gate level format means what? AND gate, OR gate, multiplexer, XOR gate, XNOR gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, different gates they need to bring it. That process is called as synthesis. Now, if you take a mobile phone chip, the one which all of us are using, if you take that chip, there will be roughly 100 crore gates in that. You can imagine 100 crores is a very, very big number, right? That many gates need to be accommodated into very small area. How much area? If you ask me, 1 centimeter this side, 1 centimeter this side. Into 1 square centimeter, we need to accommodate 100 crore gates. So can it be done manually? No, right? I mean, imagine a table on which my laptop is present. I'm trying to place various components on my table. I'm trying to place various components on my table. Okay. Would it be possible? I mean, if it is, Okay. If it is 5 elements, I can arrange. If it is 10 elements also, I can arrange. What I'm trying to tell, there is a table on which you are trying to place laptop, some pen holder, or some notebook, different things. 10 is fine. Let's say I give you 100 elements. That is also fine. Now, what if we are trying to place 100 crore gates into 1 square centimeter area? It will be very difficult, right? I mean, placing that. So that cannot be done manually. That cannot be done manually. So it has to go through some kind of automation process. You understand that term? Automation, where you don't everything do manually. You rely on some software to help you do that. That is where we go through a process called as physical design. What is physical design? The term physical design itself tells that you are planning the physical aspect of the chip. What is meant by planning? Like in literal terms, telling if I give you one area, you want to construct a house, you telling this is where my kitchen will be there, this is where all will be there. I mean, coming up with that kind of division is what we are technically calling as one aspect of the physical design, that's called as floor plan. Okay, let's not get deep into physical design, because that is something, these are all something planned for tomorrow's session. So all I want to tell you is, since you are trying to place 100 crore gates into a small area, it cannot be done manually. It is highly tool intensive job. Tool intensive means you need to use a tool to do that. And other than that, since you are working with transistors and gates, you need to have semiconductor fundamentals. You should understand what is meant by second order effects, hot electron effect. I mean, there are all sub aspects of the second order effects, right? Short channel effects I'm talking about, like drain induced barrier lowering. Okay, so a lot of such concepts you should be familiar with, like latch up, okay, antenna effect. If you start looking at, there could be around 10 to 15 things which you need to consider. So you should have all those fundamentals. So the backend job doesn't involve any programming. The backend domain job doesn't involve any programming, because by the time you go to backend domain, Verilog code has already been converted into gate level format. That means you are not going to deal with Verilog code. You are going to deal with gate level representation. Because of that, the backend domain does not involve any programming, but it is more to do with what? Tool and technology. What do I mean by technology? You need to understand the concepts of semiconductor technology. How does a diode work? How does BJT work? How does CMOS work? Right? What is the significance of doping? I mean, if I dope it heavily, what is going to happen? What will be the some parasitics? How does RC circuit works? A lot of such concepts, such technology basic concepts you need to learn. A front-end domain doesn't require any of that, because in front-end domain you don't deal with MOSFETs, you do not deal with the transistors or anything. You don't even need to know what is RC circuit also most of the time, because mostly it revolves around coding. Whereas backend domain mostly deals with tool and technology. So with this understanding, let us quickly summarize what happens in the backend. See, backend domain starts with synthesis. Then we do something called as DFT at gate level. I mean, design for testability implementation at the gate level. In the front end also it's done at the Verilog coding level. Once DFT is done, we do something called as physical design, where we use the tool based flow. Then once physical design is done, along with that we do STA. STA stands for static timing analysis. So here design is still in terms of logic gates. If you see whatever we have done so far, we are still working in terms of the gate levels, logic gates. These logic gates need to be now converted into transistors, because when you purchase a mobile, you are not even purchasing Verilog code, you are not even purchasing the gates, you are purchasing a chip which is implemented using transistors. Now the transistors could be FinFET, transistors could be MOSFET, based on what is the technology. So these logic gates need to be converted into transistors. Do you agree with that? Only then that can be manufactured. So there are 4 types of layout for that we do. One is called as standard cell layout, memory layout, analog layout, and IO layout. Once this layout is done, we need to check whether the layout and everything has been done properly or not. That checking is called as physical verification. The checking is called as physical verification. Let us understand the term physical verification. It is quite different from functional verification. Functional verification and physical verification are quite different. I will give you a simple example of what is physical verification. Let's take one analogy. We were talking about house construction. If you see the outside the room, there is a passage. This is a room, this is another room, this is another room. This was the big room in which we are doing the training. This is where we are doing training. There is a passage. There are two rooms here. Okay. How much do you think this width was? Roughly 5 feet. If it was 1 feet only, imagine a scenario where this passage was only 1 feet. What happened during the construction? Mestri didn't notice. He constructed two walls with only how much distance? 1 feet. Would it be correct? It's not correct, right? So this kind of checking basic rules is what we call as physical verification. Okay. Let's say the door is there. What should be the minimum size of the door, width of the door? Let's say 4 feet or 3 feet, whatever. Let's say he has given only 2 feet. That again becomes a violation. We want as a building, every portion of the building to satisfy some rules. Let's say you're going up the stairs. Stairs are again very big, let's say 10 feet, which is not required. So that kind of rules checking is called as physical verification. The physical, as part of physical verification, they check whether metal, there will be a lot of metals will be there. Copper metal, one metal layer to one metal layer, is the distance proper? Some rules will be there, what they call as LVS rules, DRC rules. That checking is what is done during physical verification. Once you're done with physical verification, for you, everything is done. With this, our flow is implemented. At this stage, what they do is, from the layout, they extract some file called as GDS2. What is GDS2 is, in very simple terms, it will tell you if this is my chip area, it will tell you where is the metal present, in which dimension metal is present, and what is the density of the metal. It will also talk about where is the doping present, where is the p doping, where is the n doping, like that for the whole chip. They will tell you. Please be in mute. So the GDS2 file talks about that information. Like this is the silicon. In silicon, where the metal will come, where the gate will come, where the p doping will come, where the n doping will come. For every point in the chip, they will tell, like here what will come, here what will come, here what will come. Like that they would give. That is what GDS2 file is. GDS2 is like a three-dimensional information which tells inside the chip what should be done at what point. So what do we do? Once we have that GDS2 file, it is used for fabrication. It will be sent to TSMC or SMIC, right? Different manufacturing fabrication units are there. Then using that we fabricate. So once it is done, that chip need to be verified. Whatever chips we get out of it, that need to be verified whether that chip is working properly or not. That step is called as post silicon validation. So if you ask me, what we tried to do is, we understood the entire flow. Where did the flow start from? Requirements. Then it went through various stages like architecture, then design, then integration, then functional verification, then some amount of DFT. We did a DFT at the coding level. Then we moved on to backend domain, where we did synthesis. Then we again did DFT. So DFT is done at two levels. DFT is done in front-end domain also. DFT is done in backend domain. Once it is done, then we did physical design. Then we did static timing analysis. Then we did custom layout, physical verification, fabrication, then post-silicon validation. Why understanding this is important is, this is where you should choose which domain is important for me. I mean, which domain should I choose? The simple example is like before you started your BTech, you chose a domain, right? Electronics domain or whatever. Imagine you choosing some other domain, mechanical domain or civil or computer science. You know the implication, right? I mean, you wouldn't have been probably sitting in this room if you had chosen some other domain. You might have made some other career in some other domain. Same is the probable significance of this. I mean, it is important to choose a right domain based on what is interesting for you. If you find I'm okay with programming kind of domain, then you can go for the front end domain. If you feel I'm not so good at programming and I have never done programming, so then you can probably think of backend domain. So we will. So regarding the backend domain, what happens in physical design, what happens in STA custom layout, this is something that will be covered in tomorrow's demo session, that is on 25th of this month. Okay. Now let us briefly talk about this aspect. So if you see in summary, VLSI front-end domain is quite similar to software flow. In software, what they need to learn? If you ask a software engineer, what is that he needs to learn? He needs to learn, a software engineer, what he needs to learn? Languages, C, C++, Java, etc. Right? Whatever the new things that are happening, right? What else do they need to learn? There is something more important to learn than just C, C++. What is more important? How to understand a given problem as an algorithm, how to understand a given requirement and come up with the algorithm. I mean, they need to know algorithms like bubbles, sorting algorithms, different types of algorithms. Even I have never done software engineering, but definitely their skill set is to do with algorithms, mostly data structures, linked list, binary trees. That is a more important skill set for them compared to C, C++, because these are languages, something you can quickly learn. But algorithm is a way of approach, where you approach the problem. How do you understand the problem? How do you come up with a solution? Is what characterizes a software. When you talk about a VLSI front-end domain engineer, C is replaced with Verilog. C++ is replaced with system Verilog. Java is replaced with UVM. And a lot of similarities is there. What is the difference between C and C++? C++ is a object-oriented programming language. Even system Verilog is an object-oriented. And how C++ and Java are related? Are they related? Are they completely different? They are related because Java is built on top of C++. It's like a predefined framework, a framework which is built on top of C++. Same thing between UVM and SV. UVM is a framework on top of SV. Means what is meant by framework is how to do the same things efficiently. It's same. C++ UVM is nothing but system Verilog. When I say UVM, it is system Verilog. But UVM tells me how to do the things in a better way, more efficiently. For everything, there is a very well defined guidelines. That is what we call as UVM. So what I'm trying to tell is, there isn't much difference between software role and VLSI role. Here you learn these languages, here you learn these languages. Now when you come to the second aspect, as a VLSI engineer, these people should be good at reading design specifications. See, even here, to understand the requirement, what do? They read some document, right? They are given some document. This is the requirement. And they read, in here also, we read the design specification and implement them using various protocols. Implement that, this requirements using various protocols. When I say protocols, we mean USB protocol, PCI Express protocol, DDR protocol, SPI protocol, etc. So have you heard of a term SPI protocol anytime? SPI, I2C, some protocols will be there, like USB is a protocol. What is meant by USB protocol is, see, as soon as you connect your pen drive and you start doing transfer, data moves from laptop to, see, I have a laptop, I connected a pen drive and I start doing transfer. Have you ever noticed how the data transfer is happening? When you make a request, how the data is coming? There is a very well defined guidelines which will tell how the data should move, how the data should be read. That guidelines is what we are calling as a protocols. There is a different protocol for USB. Similarly, in the same laptop, there is a SD card. You can insert SD card, you know, right? Do you think, can I connect SD card to USB port? Will it work? And vice versa? It won't work, right? Because SD card has a different protocol. USB has a different protocol. DDR has a different protocol. SP has a different protocol. So, like a verification, like a software engineer learns algorithms, a VLSI engineer need to learn protocols. That is the strength. Among these two, what is that I said is more important? Among languages and algorithm, which is more important? I mean, first and second, let's say learning languages, understanding a requirement and coming up with algorithm, which is more important. Second one is more important. If you go to any company, let's say Amazon, they will probably won't check your C++, Java skills. They will more check your ability to understand a problem, ability to come up with a solution. Solution means what? An algorithm, how you are going to approach step by step. That is what they are going to test. Same thing here. If you ask me in front-end engineer, what is more important? Languages or second skill? Second skill set is more important. I mean, the reading a document, understanding the requirements, using the protocols to implement that behavior is what is more important. But again, if you go back as a fresher, what is that people will focus on always? Language, right? Because as a fresher, you need to learn languages, because when you go to interview, let's say you go to Wipro, you go to HCL interview, they, rather than asking algorithm, they will probably check your basic language skills. But eventually, when you get a little more experienced, 4 years, 5 years experience, they'll be more looking into your problem solving skill set. Same thing happens in VLSI also. Initially, during your 1 or 2 years of time, your focus will be Verilog, ST and UV. That is something you're going to learn. Eventually, as we grow in the career, your main goal will be the second one. Now, so let us understand what is the skill set required for VLSI front-end domain engineer. See, when I say front-end domain engineer, I said, right, front-end domain means same. RTL design and verification is same. ASIC verification is same. Functional verification is same. Everything is same. Okay. What is the skill set that is required? I told you, right? You need to learn languages, Verilog, System Verilog, and UVM. You need to learn some protocols, and that is what our course will emphasize on. Now, let us understand how the course is structured. And before we go into it, let us spend some time and understand why we are actually talking a lot about functional verification. And why are we talking about functional verification? Because in front-end domain, there are multiple domains. If you see, this is all collectively I'm calling as front-end domain. Okay, majorly if you see, chip architect, RTL design, RTL integration, functional verification. How many roles are there? Majorly 4 roles are there. Okay, requirements is something a VLS engineer won't do. It's a marketing team does it. If you leave aside the requirements, how many different roles are there in the front-end domain? 4: architect, RTL design, RTL integration, and functional verification. Now, why only people talk about functional verification? You go to any institute or even you come to VLSI group, why people mostly enroll for functional verification? What do you think is the logical reason? There are more opportunities. Let us now talk about why there are more opportunities. Typically, if you see any team distribution, let's say I have in front-end domain, I have 50 people in a team. Let's say you go to Qualcomm, they're working on a chip, and let's say they have 50 people in the front-end domain team. Let's say in back-end domain team, they have 50. The distribution will be basically, there will be only one architect, one or two architects maximum. Design team will be maximum 8 people, 8 to 10 people. Even 8 is sufficient, 6 to 8 people. Integration, I mean both design and integration put together, 6 to 8 people. The verification will be almost 35 to 40. 35 to 40 people in verification. Okay, now you can see where there are more opportunities. Now you may say why they are able to manage design and integration with 6 to 8. How it works is lot of things happen with design reuse. Let us say I wanted to construct this room. I wanted to set up this room. I didn't make this table myself. I purchased it from outside. So I didn't make this laptop and this monitor that you see. I didn't make myself. I went to the market and I purchased. Just giving an example. Even when someone wants to develop this kind of chip, the one you see here, let's say for that matter, Qualcomm itself, they will see this block available internally in any of our teams. Are they working on scalar RF component? If it is there, we'll use that block. If it is not there, what they will do? They will go to a company who develops that design and who will sell that, and they will use that. It is called as reuse, IP reuse. IP means intellectual property reuse. Someone has developed, so it's their intellectual property. We are reusing them, so we will pay them in return. Because of that, we don't need to do a lot of development. Do you agree with that? We don't need to do a lot of coding and a lot of activities. This can be managed with only 15 to 20% of the team. This can be managed with 25% of the team. How much is left for functional verification? Around 80% of the team is left for functional verification. I would say 70 to 80%. Because always there are times where you may need some more people for design activity, depending upon the situation. But always there will be more opportunities in functional verification. Again, what companies do is companies wants to do the cost optimization, right? See, a 5-year experienced person VLSI may get anywhere like 25 lakhs on average, for example, currently, or 20 lakhs. If you keep everyone 5 years, 10 years experience, what will happen? The cost will increase significantly, right? The overall team cost, the project cost will. Then what they do? They do the distribution in such a way that some people are 5 years experienced, some people are 3 years experienced, some people are freshers, some people are 10 to 15 years experienced. They will do that distribution so that they can optimize the cost. Eventually, after 1 or 2 years, what will happen? This fresher will become 3 years experience. This 3 years will become 5 years. So that is where a lot of fresher hiring happens. Because one is to fulfill the current requirement. Second is after 1 or 2 years, these freshers will contribute to the project. And now you may ask why this RTL design integration doesn't hire so much actively freshers? Because they have very few people requirement. They need only 6 to 8 people. In that, if I keep 3 to 4 freshers, what will happen? The seniors will spend half the time teaching these freshers rather than doing their work. What senior will do? He will be teaching RTL integration work to the fresher. So that is the reason most of the time design integration activity, lot of times they hire experienced people. Some 10 to 20%, of course, they go for freshers. It's not like they don't. Everywhere you see, there will be freshers will be hired. It's the number of freshers hired is what is important. So that way, what happens is in the front end domain, there are majorly 2 domains where the hiring happens for freshers. One is functional verification. A lot of hiring happens in functional verification, and hiring happens in DFT also. Because in DFT also, it's a various activities what we are collectively calling as DFT. I mean, when you go a little deep into DFT, because there are some people who have to who have come for DFT demo session, I'll just give a brief about what is DFT. What is DFT is the technology which is used for detecting the manufacturing faults in the chip. Because if you see, we are manufacturing a chip at what technology level? We are currently manufacturing at 5 nanometer technology. What is meant by 5 nanometer is the transistor channel length. Channel length means what? The distance between source and drain. A transistor will have source, drain, gate and base, substrate. The distance between source and drain is 5 nanometer. That kind of technology, that kind of transistor is 5 nanometer transistor. When you are working at 5 nanometer is very small number. You can imagine that also, right? You take a hair or a thread, you cut it vertically 1000 times or 100 times. What you get is a nanometer. That small it is. Okay. When you are manufacturing at that level, what is possible is sometimes some two metals can just touch each other. Any such kind of issues can happen. Some line gets always connected to the voltage line. Some wire will always get connected to the ground. They are all called as manufacturing defects. They are not functional defects. Functionality means what? You coded something wrongly, that becomes functional defect. What is manufacturing defect? While you are manufacturing, what happens? They sprayed a metal. See, during manufacturing, what they do? They lithography, all that they do. They spray metal. They will spray some doping. I mean, they will do the doping and all that. In all those things, there is a possibility of things getting spoiled. The manufacturing can go wrong. How do you detect that has happened? Further, what they do is they take a chip, they apply some inputs called as vectors. More specifically, they are called as test vectors. You are testing chip, and why it's called as vector is there are series of 1 0 1 1 1. In Verilog terminology, series of bits are called as vectors. If you go into Verilog language, anything bigger than 1 bit, 1 0 1 1 1 1 0, that is called as a vector. So test vector. The test vector is applied as an input to the chip. The output of the chip will tell you whether it is good, whether it is faulty. Now, how it is working, let's not get into it, because again we'll have to spend half an hour, 1 hour to understand. Now these numbers you see 1 0 1 1 0, all these numbers are not like a random numbers. They have a meaning. If there is a 1, there is a meaning. If there is a 0, there is a meaning. For every number you see, there is a meaning. The people who develop these numbers are the DFT engineers. Someone has to give these numbers, right? 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 0. Some numbers someone has to give. Means someone has to provide me with test vectors. Stream of inputs I'm going to push into the chip so that my chip will tell me whether it's working fine or not. The person who develops that numbers is like DFT engineer. So the DFT engineer is not going to take a dice and throw the dice and come up with this. There will be some technology he will use, right? He's not going to throw randomly, now take 1, now take 0, now take 1. He's not going to do. There is some techniques. The techniques are collectively called as DFT techniques. What are those DFT techniques? DFT involves something called as scan technique, ATPG, compression. Then they do simulations to check internally. Then they have BIST, which is 2 types, LBIST, MBIST. Then they do JTAG. Then they do boundary scan. Then they have something called as IJTAG. Lot of things they do. Almost you can see 10 techniques they are using. They use some techniques called as scan. I mean, convert the whole logic to scannable logic. ATPG stands for automatic test pattern generation. Then they use concept of compression, simulation, LBIST, MBIST, JTAG, boundary scan, IJTAG. They use this technique. Finally, the outcome of all this DFT flow is some numbers. What we are calling as what? Test vectors. 1 0 1 1 0. Some numbers. Okay. Now you may ask, how do I know that 1 0? That is, you need to ask DFT how you came up with this. Okay. These inputs are given to final stage. To whom they will give? Post-silicon validation engineer. He is the person who is going to do this activity of putting the vectors into the chip and telling whether this chip is good, this chip is bad. So understand that DFT engineer doesn't sit and check the chip. Who is the person who checks the chip? Post-silicon validation. What is the input post-silicon validation engineer requires? Vectors. Who gives the vectors? DFT. What is the techniques he used to generate the vectors? Scan, ATPG, compression, whatever I said, right? So what is the intention of this whole process? To check if a chip is good or not. Why it should be checked? Let's say you have manufactured 100 chips. 100 chips are manufactured. They have gone into 100 mobile phones. You sold them. After selling them, 20 people are coming saying that this mobile phone is not working. 80 people are fine. Okay. Is it correct? No, right? Then the whole brand name, everything goes wrong, right? I mean, everything is a problem after that. So it is good to check the chips even before they go into the final product. We should be able to check the chip behavior before it goes into the final product. That process of checking that is called as post-silicon validation. They validate each and every chip whether it's good or bad. If it is bad, they throw it off. Then they analyze what happened, why this chip is faulty, what kind of problem happened. What kind of faults? See, there can be multiple faults, right? Okay, not to go deep into DFT, they analyze that, and whichever is good, then that will go into the product. I hope you got a very basic idea about DFT. Even a DFT engineer doesn't require any programming. It is mostly tool intensive. See, whatever numbers he is generating, right? 10110, all that, the concepts he uses, scan, ATPG, BIST, everything. It is very much tool focused. Using the tool, he will do everything. So in summary, VLSI has two domains: front-end domain, back-end domain. Front-end domain is more programming-oriented job, where you should also be good at reading the design specification, understand the specification, implement those requirements using various protocols and languages. And you should implement that using Verilog system Verilog. Like in software, what they do, they understand the algorithm. Algorithm is finally implemented using which language? C, C++, Java. Finally, I will tell you bubble sort. You will understand what is bubble sort. How will you implement bubble sort? You will use C language, you swap the numbers, and then you finally, when you do, you have the software. Similar thing we do in VLSI also. So in front-end domain, it is very much programming-oriented job role. Back-end domain is more tool and technology. Tool means what? Using the software. Like what is meant by tool is, some of your mechanical engineering friends, or even in your first year, you would have done some engineering drawing. Right? Do you do it manually? No, right? There are some ArcCAD, some softwares will be there. Using that, you will tell how the front elevation should look, how the top should look. You might have done very basic thing. There, what did we use of? We use the tool to do the things, most of the things. Here also in backend domain, they use lot of tools, softwares to do the things. And other than that, they need technology concepts. Like how does the MOSFET behave? How does FinFET behave? How does the resistor will behave? How does capacitor will behave? What is the behavior of RC circuit? How does the charging will happen? What is the rise time? What is the fall time? What is the propagation delay? That technology level concepts they need. A front-end engineer doesn't require any of them. I don't even need to know what is rise time, what is fall time, because I don't deal at that level. My front-end role always revolves around programming and debugging. I mean, something goes wrong, why it's going wrong, where the coding is wrong, that kind of skill set. What is the time now? 10:30. Okay, we'll do for another 15 minutes and go for a break. Now, talking about front-end domain, it's a 6.5 months course. Now, many times it goes to 7.5 months also. Let me tell you, I'll be frank. Okay, but you don't need to worry that you don't need to wait for 7.5 months to get a job, to start looking for a job. What we do is we divide the training into 3 parts. See, now I'm giving only overview about functional verification. So it is nothing related to DFT. It is not related to FPGA or RTL integration. They are all completely different domains. We are now talking about functional verification training, where there are more opportunities from a fresher perspective, right? I will tell you the scenario how is the job opportunity in front-end domain, functional verification domain is today. Even I don't even have a one front-end domain engineer to give for a company. At least in physical design, I have 30 people who need jobs. In physical design, I have 30 plus people who need jobs. In DFT also same scenario. Placements are done. The current ongoing batch is only there, where people are still undergoing training. In functional verification, there are scenarios where people have done only 4 months of training or 5 months of training. They are all placed. So that is correlated to what I told you, right? A lot of hiring happens in functional verification because you need a lot of people to verify each and everything in the chip. If something goes wrong, even if small feature doesn't work, let's say take a laptop has a lot of complex things. One key doesn't work. Just assume only one key doesn't work and everything is perfect. Will you purchase that mobile laptop? No, right? Same is the thing with functional verification. We need lot of people to verify each and everything. That is where you need more functional verification, and that is where we see lot of hiring happening in functional verification. Now, how the functional verification is divided is, it is divided into 3 parts. It is totally a 28 weeks course. Sometimes it does get extended to 32 weeks. It does get extended. But I will tell you, you don't need to really wait for 32 weeks to get a job. Our focus of increasing is to go deep into the learning. That's the major idea. Okay. We divide it into 3 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. In the phase 1, 3 weeks of digital design, 7 weeks of Verilog. Eventually it gets stretched to 8 weeks. It gets stretched to 8 weeks. Because what I believe is, rather than doing everything, not being good with anything, do only this much. Do only this much. Do only this much. But be very good with the what you have done. When you go to companies, any interview you go, in 90% of the cases, they will focus on fundamentals, your aptitude, analytical skills, basic programming skills. Idea is, they want to check how do you approach the problem. How do you, are you good with the fundamentals? They don't want to focus on the advanced concepts actually. Because what they know is, as an engineer, if you are good with the basics, if you are able to understand the problem, if you are able to come up with the solution, you can do the complex things. But without having fundamentals, let's say you're not good with this, you're not good with this, you say I have completed this. Companies don't want that. So institute, as an institute, our philosophy is that whatever time it takes, you spend with it. We won't hurry to complete this. We will not be in hurry to complete the phase 3. Let's do only first 2 phases extremely well, where person is very good with it. And a lot of time hiring happens only based on that. Now coming back to this, what is done is 3 weeks of digital, 8 weeks of Verilog. I mean, because why I have changed it to 8 weeks, I have seen it eventually it gets extended. So it goes for how many weeks? 11 weeks. Then we do 1 week of Linux when we go to the phase 2, because you need to learn some amount of Linux before you go to the other steps. 7 weeks of system Verilog and 4 weeks of UVM. That is what? 12 weeks. Roughly it is around 5.5 months. 23 weeks is roughly 5.5 months. By then you are ready for the job actually. At this stage you can start looking for job support. I mean, you will get the placement support because a lot of hiring in the industry happens based on this skill set. If you are good with digital, very good with digital, very good with Verilog and system, very good with system Verilog, and okay with UVM, above average or fine with UVM, the companies hire you. Then what we do in the phase 3 is the advanced aspects of the course. What is advanced aspects of course? Is learning some advanced protocol like AXI, developing a verification IP for that. Then 4 to 5 weeks, I would say 5 weeks, 4 weeks will be not sufficient. 5 weeks on industry standard project. Then 1 to 2 weeks on Python scripting. Then comes soft skill training. That's something that if you count everything, 11 plus 23, 28, around 29, 30 weeks it comes. That much it goes. It actually goes for 30 weeks. But the good aspect is you can start looking out for job after 5.5 months. Remaining 1.5, 2 months, what we are talking about is something you can do even after you get a job. Let's say you go to a job, you can now switch from full week training to weekend training. Let's say you haven't got a job, you continue with the training. And during this training, what we do is at the end of every topic, we conduct an evaluation test. See, almost 6 to 7 evaluation tests are done throughout the course. Once you are done with digital, one evaluation test. Again, in Verilog itself, there will be 2 evaluation tests. I mean, Verilog itself is divided into 2 parts: Verilog language and Verilog projects. This goes for around 3 weeks, 4 weeks. 1 week is actually gap. People keep asking for gap. It's like one semester is done. If I finish semester today and I say next semester is tomorrow, people don't want that, right? People always want 3-4 days break. That is where this became 8 weeks. This calculation is proper. 4 weeks and 3 weeks it finishes. After that, we conduct evaluation test. One for Verilog language, one for projects. So totally around 7 evaluation tests happen. And other than that, most important part of the training is the assignments. Actually, we give lot of importance to assignments. Okay, for every course you will find a lot of assignments. If I go, we have one learning portal in skill.in. There you will be given a login. Once you log in, you will have access to the courses. Let's say if I go to Verilog course. In Verilog course, you will get access to the videos from the ongoing batch. Whatever ongoing batch, you'll get access. You will get access to the presentations, like the language presentation. I told you, right? There were 2 things. One is the language, one is the projects. So you can access the complete language presentation from here. A very detailed presentation. Other than that, you will get the presentation related to the projects. Other than that, you will get the assignments here, where you will have access to assignments. Almost there are 22 assignments in Verilog. For our course purpose, if you can complete this many, that's sufficient. This is not expected. This is not expected. You need to complete 20 assignments. Now, the first thing that comes to assignments is from the engineering time is they are just given and no one supports it. Even the time when I studied and probably during the time you are studying also, assignments are just given and no one supports them. Right? That is where you are really tensed about assignments. If you ask me what is the most tension thing is not attending classes. Someone gives assignments and tell that submit, and there is no much support for the assignment. That problem you will not face here. Typically, what we do is every day, every alternate day is an assignment support session. Let's say today I would complete combinational logic as a trainer. The next session will be focused on supporting you with the assignments. Let's say day after tomorrow, I complete this topic, reg net vector. Following day session will be supporting you with the assignments. So for every topic you see here, there will be supporting session. So how we plan is 1 day theory, 1 day lab session. Sometimes lab sessions can be more. Let's say I covered a lot of content and you are not able to complete the labs or assignment in 1 day. You will need 2 days. So there will be 2 lab sessions. In summary, we won't be in hurry to complete this. We will make sure that things are done in a right manner, right speed, and things go fine. What is that also helps is our batch strength is generally relatively smaller. 25 to 30 will be there, maximum 30, compared to other places where there could be 100 people in a batch. I've seen institute where 100 people are there in one batch. What is the advantage of this 25 to 30 is you get the attention, right? See, if there are 25 to 30, addressing their questions is more easier compared to addressing 100 people in one batch. So there you get personal attention. First. Second advantage that you get here is every session you attend is being recorded. Even the session you are attending now, it is being recorded. That video will be accessible to you for 10 days duration for every session. You may ask, why not 6 months? Problem is, if I give for 6 months, people are not serious. If they know that the access is going to go off in 10 days, they will watch. They're going to revise. So the whole idea of video is what? Not to store, right? Whole idea of video is what? You go through the things, you revise, and whatever doubts you have, you list down and you make your own notes. See, video is not your property. Video is institute property. Video is only for your temporary access so that you go through it and clarify your doubts. If I give you eventual access, let's say 6 months, 1 year, you will never watch it at all because you know that access will be there even after 1-2 months. So based on that, we have a policy where once today's session is done, today's video is accessible for next 10 days. That is the second support you get. The third thing that we do is, for every student who enrolls into the course, we create one individual WhatsApp. Somewhere you might see we create individual groups. See, every student is given one ID and we create one individual group for every student with the course name they have enrolled for everything, right? Let's say she enrolled for DDR, enrolled for DFT e-learning course, DFT online course, GLS, synthesis, TCL e-learning, and randomly you can see the names. What is the purpose of this group is, you are connected with the trainer in this group. I mean, it's only for you, only for the student, where you are there, the trainer is there, and institute admin is there. 3 or 4 people maximum. If you have any doubts, you post in that group. You post in that group. The trainer will respond to you within same day. I mean, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. And you, since you know he is the person he is the trainer for me, you can always connect with the trainer and get your doubts cleared. So why that is important is, sometimes people are hesitant to ask the questions in class. Because some people are open, they ask the question. Sometimes people want that convenience where they can connect with the trainer and get this. Second is what? You can have non-technical support. You are not getting the notes, you are not getting the material, or you are not able to attend something, you need some video access. And there is also admin present in the third aspect of the course is assessment. Okay. We categorize every student who joins into the course, we categorize them into 3 categories: good performance student, average performing student, poor performing student. It happens, right? Every batch, even the BTech unit, school unit, everywhere, this classification will be there. Now, how do we do this assessment? We give almost 50% weightage to assignments, 10% to attendance, around 25% to evaluation test, around 10% for 15% or 30% is actually more important. 10% for, we do some presentation sessions. Means regularly we keep conducting evaluation tests, and regularly we keep making the students give presentations. Intention is, most of the people who come to the institute do not have the required communication skills. One is technically you need to learn, one is you need to learn how to present the things. So we regularly make you give the presentation. When idea is not that you are going to teach someone, idea is you are going to learn how to explain some concept to someone, how to come up with a presentation, how to talk about the presentation, how to convey your ideas to the other person. Then evaluation test, there will be mock interviews also. I think I can say 20% and 10% for mock. If you add, everything comes to 100%. But what is that you notice here, which is the major component? Assignment. So I don't even care whether you come to the session or not, anything. But as long as you have done assignments, I know that you're doing well. And even to track assignments, what we do is we'll give you this Google Drive. These days Google Drive is free, right? When we create a Google Drive for each and every student, we ask you to submit your assignments, and there is a form you have to fill. Every time you submit your assignment, you have to fill a form where I know that you have submitted assignments, and you will be submitting with your ID. VG ID will be there, some ID will be there. So through that I know where do you stand. Do you stand in good range, average, or poor? What institute can do is, institute cannot make a poor performer into good. It's not possible. What we do is we take you go to one level up, because that is what we can do in 6 months time. If you give me 4 years time, yes, the poor performance you can make topper, but 6 months we can only do this much. Average student can be made a good performer. A good performer can be made a top. One level next we can take it. So to do that, how do we do that? It's not just a classification that this category of people are good, this category of poor people are average, these are poor candidates. Because every batch it happens. Even in the people who are attending, there will be good performance, average, and top. I mean poor performance. What we do is we categorize based on these parameters. Every month we keep doing that, and then we provide individual attendance, individual assistance. That is the important point. Means someone is not able to score in digital design. Now, why they don't perform? Of course, they didn't understood the concepts, right? Why they didn't understood? It was a big batch. They were not able to cope up with the trainer flow. I mean, trainer is teaching K-maps, POS, SOP, the truth table, everything, and he's not able to come up with that speed. And it's quite possible, right? That you don't catch up some of the things or a lot of things. We will conduct some one-to-one sessions for the people who are not able to come up to the level. Two options we give. One is you repeat the topic. You are not able to score well in digital. Let's say you score 20% in digital. Does it make sense for you to move to Verilog? No, right? You have to repeat digital. Let's say you are not able to score more than 20% in Verilog. Can you move to system Verilog? No. So we do one such thing. Second thing is we give you that individual attention also. Our idea is initially was that student would come and ask me, I need this support. Later we felt that students are not doing that. I mean, students are okay. They just came 6.5 months. My training is over, done. They don't even care whether my performance is good. Am I doing good or am I doing okay? We started doing this assessment. There's a mechanism which we follow. It's not a very complex thing. I mean, once you know the assignment scores, once you know attendance, evaluation test, we can come up with the ranking, right? Who is doing how. Then finally, we provide the support. I mean, important thing I want to tell you in this whole process is that we do care. We do care. It's not that our support is just going to end at enrollment and I got the fee, training is done. We do care because for me, if 1,000 people pass out of the institute, we may have even 2,000 people actually. I mean, not the entire courses. If I take into consideration this kind of courses, like people who enroll for DDR. DDR is not a full-time course. It's just a short course. DDR protocol training. Like GLS is a short-term course. Synthesis is a short-term course. TCL is a short-term course. If I take into all that, we may have even close to 2,500 people actually. In a year, we may be training close to 2,500 people. Out of them, maybe 1,000 people into 6 months courses. The long-term courses could be around 1,000 people, right? In that, we do the categorization. And the important thing is, we will be assessing how you are doing, and we'll be making sure that we'll give you the personal attention to improve. The whole point of training is not that the day you joined and the day you are leaving, if you are going with the same knowledge, same attitude, then there is no use of the 6 months, right? Or whatever duration, and whatever, there is no use of the money you spent. Idea is how much value addition as an institute we can do. So we will be really concerned about that, and we'll be making sure that it happens. So let us now go for a break. I mean, I have just given a brief about it. Once we meet after the session, we'll talk about the schedule and other things. Then we'll go into question and answers. So let's meet in 10 minutes. Is that fine with everyone? So what is the time now? Let's see. Time is 10:58. Let's meet at 11:10.
Okay.
Hello everyone, let us resume the session. So I was giving you the overview of the schedule. So the training will be happening for almost 28 to 30 weeks. And as I said, it will be divided into two parts, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And the main emphasis of the course will be not the completion, emphasis will be on the quality of learning. Sometimes it may so happen that for some students, this 6.5 months may even go for 10 months also. Because if they don't do well in digital or very long, I don't have any option but to make them repeat. But when they repeat, we don't charge any additional fee. Let's say someone has to repeat very long, at least for one repetition, there is no additional charge. Primary intention is whoever goes out of the institute, he should go with some minimum skill set. Because finally, institute is not the building, not the laptops, not the place. It's the students who make the institute. Right? Student represents the institute, and if they do well in the jobs, it reflects into the institute long-term image. Right? If at all you hear anything about institute, it's all because the people who have passed out from here and people who perform in their companies is what gives the brand name. So we are very much concerned about that. I mean, that is very important aspect because more than money, more than anything, then brand name really matters a lot. Okay. So hence, when we say we are going to be concerned about how you are going to do, we seriously do. We have a dedicated team who looks into your performance. Actually, they will be conducting tests, they'll be conducting mock interviews, they'll be making you do the presentations, they'll be tracking your attendance, and they're going to be connecting with you and check what support you require. If you say I don't need you, let's say you don't perform, you don't need any support, they will leave it. Beyond one point, you cannot be pushed, right? Because you're all matured. I mean, at your stage, you are completed BTech MTech. Okay. Now, the training is done in two modes: full week training, weekends only training. Full week training is 6 days per week. Mostly it happens 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. On Sunday will be off. A recorded video access for 10 days for every session. Sometimes the schedule can change because not every trainer can be accommodated only for morning slots, right? Sometimes we may have to keep for afternoon also, but mostly we try for 9:30 to 1:30 slot. At times it shifts, you have a recorded video, and you can always connect with the trainer for any doubt clarification. When it comes to weekends only training, it will be on Saturday and Sunday, 4 hours per day. I know some institutes might be doing 8 hours of training per day. It's quite difficult actually. Someone who is already working and working for 5 days, and again making them do Saturday and Sunday 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday, it's very difficult actually. So rather what we decide is 4 hours is the ideal time. I mean, how much you can spend, and remaining time you can take care of your personal activities, right? You will also get access to complete course recorded videos for entire duration. That way you will be able to watch the videos over weekdays, and you will attend the live sessions over weekends. During that time, you can talk to the trainer, get your doubts clarified, the topics will be revised, and they will also give you an idea of how to complete the course. The other advantage with weekend courses, since we are giving you recorded video access, you can plan your schedule. Basically, we give some schedules to you. Means you want to do at a relaxed pace, you want to do at a normal pace, do you want to do at a quick pace? I mean, see, sometimes people have a lot of time in a week. They can finish the course quickly. Sometimes people are quite busy with their job. They can do at their own slow pace. So we give you all that flexibility. I'm not going to tell that you have to complete course in 1 month, only 2 months. We are going to give a schedule, and trainer is going to track in what mode you are going to learn, and accordingly provide you the support. And there will be a dedicated trainer. As I told you, as soon as you enroll, there will be one dedicated WhatsApp group created for you, where you can connect with the trainer and get your doubts clarified. And course mostly works on your proactiveness, student proactiveness, because it's not possible that every time someone comes and asks you, do you have a doubt, do you need support? It's not possible, right? You can be proactive in getting the support. And institute will not say we won't arrange that kind of things, we won't, because we'll try our best to support you as much as possible. Now, course can be attended offline. Offline, I mean classroom. Can be attended online. You can also attend in hybrid mode. What is meant by hybrid mode is partly online, partly offline. And how it works, the way it is happening now, the same thing. There are some students attending online, and there are some students who are attending offline in the training. The same thing you can do. Let's say tomorrow you decided that I don't want to go to the institute, I want to attend from my home. You can attend, because whatever link online students got, you will also get. Accordingly, you can choose which mode of training you want to join, and any day you have flexibility. Nobody is going to ask why you came, why you didn't come, all that. Because it is not going to be driven by attendance, it is going to be driven by how do you do with the assignments. We are going to track that only. That is the primary parameter. And if you see, if you complete this all things you can do automatically, right? Assignment, you doing yourself assignments will automatically give you evaluation test also you will be able to do. Presentation also you will be able to do. Mock interview also you will be able to do, right? And to do well in assignments, you have to attend sessions. So that eventually completes the whole cycle, right? Okay. Now, this is about how the training will be done, the schedule, everything. Institute will be open from Institute opens from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you can come anytime to the institute and you can be sitting here and practice. Institute has almost 10 training rooms across 3 floors. You can be sitting anywhere, ground, second, third floor. And you can sit and anywhere and practice, right? And the trainer also will be available, because all the trainers are working offline except for 1 or 2 trainers. All the trainers are working offline, so they will be available at the institute for your support. And what is the generally difficult part of the training? If you ask me, in this whole process, what is going to be difficult is things move very quickly. By the time you realize that you've started with that one topic, and probably that topic will be completed also. I mean, a simple analogy here itself I've written, like whatever you are going to learn for almost like 2 years of your BTech subjects, 1.5 to 2 years, like 3 to 4 semesters is what you're going to learn in 6.5 months. That much learning you are going to have, because it is important, right? Why is it important? This is something which is getting you job. See, you started your education starting from first class, some case LKG, UKG, first standard, 10th, +1, +2, BTech. Lot of things didn't get you job, but this 6 months is what is going to eligible to get a job. So that has to be a lot of learning, right? Which fits into the company requirements. So hence that learning does happen here. If you see your BTech also, digital design, you learn it over 1 semester. 1 semester is roughly 4.5 months. You have a lot of time to learn small things also. Here you are going to learn the same things in 3 weeks, fully focused on digital design. And the other difference is what you learn in your BTech and what you learn here is almost 3 to 4 times more than what you learn in BTech. Let's say you learn something in BTech, you might have learned only the basic things like what is K-map, what is truth table, basic logic gates. You might have understood some basic logic reduction, POS, SOP, and flip-flop latch. That's where your learning would have stopped in digital design. Right? Here you are definitely going to learn 3 to 4 times more than what you did in your tech, and that too in a very short time. That is what I mean by things move quickly. So you need to be focused every day to catch up with the flow. Sometimes if you are not able to cope up, let's say you have some personal reason, you have to go to native place, 2 weeks you're off, then what do? Either you attend online from there, if you are not able to focus at all, then you join the next batch, because batches keeps happening every month. You can always join into the next batch. So you should not be thinking that my time is running away. I'm running out of time, means my time is getting over. No. Should be thinking about how is my quality of learning. That should be most important. And that is what you should be focusing on. Like, if I learn the subject properly, I'll be able to get a job. And what is that I expect from the course? Any student who joins is, he should develop a confidence where he comes and tells me that I've learned enough. I'm confident that I can do things myself. I can get a job myself also. I'm not telling that you go and look for a job. The institute does provide some, but that is the confidence I like to see from every participant. That I have learned enough. I've learned the subject. I know how to understand a problem. Now I know that I can get a job. That level of confidence I want to see. And 6.5 6 months is a good time actually. 6 months is a good time to do that actually. See, one day we cannot do. 3 hours I can give you lecture, but I cannot really bring you to that stage where you are confident about yourself. But if you talk about 6 months, I can make you so good, given that you put effort. Where at end of 6 months, you come and tell me that I can do that. And many times it does happen where some students come and tell me that we are confident that we have learned enough, and they do get jobs. See, two things. One is you learn the subject, you got the confidence. Because you learn the subject, you also get the job also. That is what I mean by things move quickly, right? So even if you go back, you can see 3 weeks of digital. Immediately Verilog language. See, Verilog language also during your BTech you learn it over one semester, if at all it is there. For some people may not be there. If it is there, you learn it over one full semester. Again, amount of Verilog language you learn here will be at least 2 to 3 times more than what you learn in your BTech. You may not have learned everything, state machines, the different styles of encoding, writing a test bench, implementing various types of designs. You may not have learned to that depth in BTech, but here you have to learn. So the good part is, for everything there is a support, there is a guidance. Not that we just give you one document, go and read and come back. Everything support will be there. You need to spend that time to benefit out of it. And that is where most of the people fail. They lack that motivation. They don't put that effort. Or they are not proactive. They don't understand. They don't even come to the institute trainer or admin and tell, I need support. Next. I told you, Google Drive for submitting your assignments, presentations. And one more flexibility you get with the course is, let's say you join into design verification. That is functional verification. You attended up to 2 months. You didn't like the course because you didn't like programming. You're finding Verilog to be difficult. You have option to switch to any other domain in the institute. I told you, right? Institute offers various domains. Almost every domain we offer. You can move to physical design. You can move to DFT. No additional cost. What is going to happen is, you may say, I'm going to lose 2 months. You're not going to lose 2 months. You're going to probably lose 3 to 4 weeks, because what happens? 3 weeks is anyway common, digital. After that only it's going to differ. So you're going to kind of lose 1 month time. That is not losing also, because you have learned something. Whatever knowledge you gained, it's not going to be wasted. Just that you didn't like the domain, you're moving to other domain. So institute has such flexibility, but not everyone switches. See, once people have made a decision, they don't like to switch. But as an institute, we provide that flexibility. Then what I'm talking is like branch change you do in BTech right after first year or first semester. The same thing I'm talking about. We have already talked about brief about functional verification. I'll just spend 5 minutes to brief about what is functional verification, because that is the focus area of today's session. What is functional verification is, as I told you, you get design specification and you get Verilog code as an input. A functional verification engineer inputs are what? Design specification plus the Verilog RTL code are the two inputs. What verification engineer is trying to prove that is, this Verilog code has been done as per the specification. Both of them are matching, is what he is trying to do. it cannot, it can't be done just by seeing. Let's say this is specification, this is code. What I'm seeing is a code. I cannot just compare directly because this is one is a document, one is a Verilog code. So there is a process that they follow. That is what we call as functional verification process. So our course, 6 or 7 months I'm talking about, will be focused on that aspect. So training will start from very much from fundamentals. Let's say when we go to Verilog, we start off from the level of how to use GVM. Let's say I'm using this text editor. How am I going to use this for coding? Let's say I'm on to develop multiplexer 2x1. First, we don't start even with multiplexer. We start with how to use this tool, the editor I'm using, how to type, right? What are the techniques you need to learn in this, right? Then we start from a simple designs like multiplexer, half adder, full adder, comparator, decoder, encoder. That level we are going to teach. Once it is done, then we go to the next level. So things will move gradually, but they move quickly. We can't give 2 weeks time to only learn basics. Then Verilog course itself will go for 3 months. Then the overall course goes for 1.5 years. So hence things move quickly, but they start from basics. So people are able to cope up, good, they continue. If they are not able to cope up, there is an option you connect with the trainer, get support. Otherwise, you go through the video, you revise everything. Otherwise, you repeat the batch. Many times I've seen some people who have repeated the batch, and sometimes people have intentionally done because they want to become very good with the subject. They benefited really significantly because once you are strong with the fundamentals, right, digital and Verilog fundamentals, learning advanced things won't be difficult. So here what I'm telling is everything will be covered from the basics. So I won't assume that you will be knowing something. Rather, things will be covered from basics. So I don't want to go deep into functional verification. What is what? Eventually, this is where I. All right. The third stage of the course, where you are going to you are going to gain the actual expertise. I mean, this is something I haven't seen anyone doing actually. Anyone means any institute doing, any of the institutes. Mostly the training institute focus on very simple projects. And there are times where some students from other institutes have ended up doing almost complete course projects. They've taken the course, sometimes they have joined the companies, they ended up doing complete SVUVM training from us. One of the cases, one big company, services company, they hired from various institutes. Okay, I can't name that company name. Almost 20-30 people. We are running again dedicated SVUVM batch. So in summary, our depth of the subject we do will be better, will be more. Because for me, the time is not what I'm looking at. For me, more important is if 500 people go out of the institutes, how will this 500 people do in their jobs? Is what will be my primary focus. So with this, I stop my demo session part of the session, I mean training. Now we'll take up any questions you have. If you have any questions related to anything, schedule, the content, anything, I'll take up those questions. You can ask me any questions.
What is the difference between functional verification and the ASIC verification?
Both are same, right? See, in both the cases, you have to verify the RTL code. Both are same. ASIC is a generic term which is used for application specific integrated circuit. The functional verification is also the term which is used for verifying the same. Both are same. I told the same right initially. Whether you use the term ASIC, somewhere I said it's all same basically. Any other question? Yeah.
Sir, I'm Arvind, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I completed my BTech in 2017, sir.
Okay.
So is it okay to join VLSI, sir, or it will be any problem?
You can type your questions. See, one more thing is those who have questions, please type in your questions. This Arvind case, I have understood the question. Otherwise, please type in your question. I'll take it down and I'll paste it and I'll answer the question. Okay. Passed out in 2017. VLSI opportunity. See
My
what I have
percentage
seen.
is
Yeah.
yeah, my percentage is 58, sir. 58.
58. Okay. Fine. Thank you for sharing these details. So
Yes.
answer is, in the current job market, it is possible to get a job. In the current job market, it's possible to get a job because when I said there is a lot of hiring actually, I do mean it. I mean, what we do for placement support is we create one WhatsApp group for every domain.
Okay.
Let's say DV job support group.
Okay, sir.
I'll tell you just. See, this is a company which came, I think, 2 days back. If I just see this, they were having requirements for design verification. Basically, this group is where all the students from design verification domain are present. I mean, someone who joined in August 2021, someone who joined in January 2022, March 21, November 2020, right? If I go and check that, how many people have applied? I mean, further they would have applied 40, but 40 is for across the domains. It's not just the design verification. 40 would include analog layout, some 4 people in functional verification, and what do you see? A lot of this physical verification is used, a lot of things. And how many people have only applied for functional verification? Only 4 people. Okay. Just now this guy came and said, I think he got a job. Just before demo session, he wanted to meet. I said, come at 1 o'clock. So I'm telling that the opportunities are very good. See, for DFD, only how many people applied? Only 1. For analog layout, around 4 people. For DV, 4 people. A lot of them into physical design. Why it happens with physical design is, people who come for the training, they think that they are not good with programming because you're from triple EC background and you don't do any programming during your BTech. And the default assumption is that I won't be able to do programming. So what is the other domain where you don't need programming at all? One is physical design, one is DFD, one is custom layout. And lot of people, lot of their seniors will be working in physical design. The seniors will tell, go and join physical design. This is where these numbers are built up. I'm just showing you the distribution also. It is not like these are only one batch student. This is entire batch. What I'm talking is they're all entire batch also. If I see, if I go one more company that came on Wednesday, in Silicon, it came, right? It was for DV trained freshers. And generally what we do is, before we send, we conduct some mock interview. Internally, we conduct interview because we need to assess the basic quality of a student. I mean, he doesn't even speak. Let's say he goes to interview, he doesn't open your mouth. Then who will have the problem? Student or institute? Institute will have problem, right? If you don't even open your mouth, then company won't even come to us. So we conduct some mock interviews initially. Now again, if I see this company, this came on 21st of September. This was probably only for DV. Some 8 people applied. These are only 8 people who applied. I mean, if I have to tell, there are maximum of 8 people or 10 people in the DV domain who needs jobs, and this is across last 2-3 years data. I mean, say for no reason I don't bring anyone job. I mean, see, if someone wants job, what we do is immediately we add them into this group. You can see people from different domains, and maximum people itself I have is around 38. And as and when they get job, we remove them from the group. Let's say this came on Wednesday. There's a company that came on 16th of September. Then a company came on 15th September. This was Nixberry Technologies. Then we have another company called as GL Communication. They were okay to hire even with 2 months of training. Even with Verilog, they said even if the candidate have completed digital and Verilog, they will hire. Even with that, we had a tough time making people to join. I mean, it was a very good opportunity. The companies, I've seen the profile, it was a good opportunity to work. I had a very tough time to convince people to apply for these jobs. hardly we had 15 people, including the people who are currently undergoing very long, completed very long. This is how many they applied. So in summary, there is an advantage. One advantage you have is the batch strength will be smaller, 25 to 30, not going to be hundreds. So every opportunity that goes to other places also comes to here. Like see, this came on 15th. Another opportunity came on 12th September. One more opportunity came on 12th September. One more on 9th September. One more on 8th September. So in a month itself, we had almost 10 to 12 opportunities that came. Mostly if the person is good, he wouldn't even wait. He wouldn't be available till this stage. He would have got placed. But there are a lot. What I'm trying to show you is there are a lot of opportunities compared to physical design. People who are into functional verification has an advantage because more companies come. And same thing is not there for physical design. In physical design, probably I have 20% less. Let's say I've got 10 here. In physical design, I might have got only 6 to 7 opportunities in a month. And eventually, more opportunities is what translates into jobs. Now, coming back to this person, 2017, what happens is if I need to hire someone, first I will see 2021 am I getting, 2020 am I getting. If I don't get anyone meeting that requirement, what do? I'll relax my requirements. Then whomever I find good, I'll hire, even if they are 2017 person. Right now, that is what is exactly happening in the market. If a person is good, doesn't matter their percentage, doesn't matter their year of pass out. Companies are hiring. We had scenarios where people got placed also. Personally, from my side, if I find a person to be good, I should be convinced, right? Like this person is regular, he's completing assignment. I can as well connect them with the companies. I am also closely connected with some companies where I can refer. So they wouldn't even see the percentage and year of pass out. Then they will hire. So that much assurance I can give. If you perform well, if you don't perform well, let's say I am not convinced with even your basic skill set, then there is nothing anyone can do. And you don't need to be really expert or class topper to do anything. You don't need to be exceptional to do anything. You just need to be punctual, regular, and proactive. Means you don't understand, you come to the trainer and ask. You go to someone and get the support. You don't understand, you don't do anything, you stay at home, no one can help. That is what happens in many cases actually. People don't understand, they don't even bother to come to us. Then we can't do anything. That is where we actually started doing that analysis. Good, average, poor. Then we started telling what is the support you require. Why don't you repeat the course, or why do you need one-to-one support? We have been doing such session because, as I told you, right, I don't measure like 500 are there, let top 100 get ranks, 400, whatever happens, doesn't matter. Rather, I would focus more on how can I make all these 500 people more productive. I mean, I can make them go to the next level of their learning, right? Next, any other questions? I hope I answered your question. If you do well in the course, and if the current hiring trend continues, we can support. One thing I want to tell you is institute doesn't give 100% guarantee to the job. Institute doesn't give 100% commitment, does not give. What is the commitment we give is till you get a job, we'll continue to support. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 months, it could be you may get job during the training period itself or after the training. Whatever, till you get a job, institute will continue to support you. But I won't give you a timeline that you will get placed by this time, you will get this many opportunities this time, because I cannot control the hiring market. Currently, hiring is very good. When you can see the number of companies coming every almost alternate days itself is a indication that hiring is very good, right? There are times where people are behind us. At least send me 2-3 profiles. At least give me this many profiles. After 6 months, 1 year, we can't say how the market will be. In those cases, I won't be able to give any commitment. But what is that we will give you is a commitment for a quality training where you get the confidence that I can get a job. That confidence is more important, I believe. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
I'll answer this. Yeah. Please tell me.
Sir, Devas this side. Sir, in the Excel sheet, you have shown the most of the students are BTech students. I mean, BTech degree holders are applying. So, having a MTech degree, like, is there any advantage, sir?
Okay, so his question is, does MTech students have any advantage over BTech?
Yes,
If
sir.
you ask me, not significant advantage. From a job perspective, both BTech and MTech are treated similarly. MTech may have 10% advantage, but mostly the hiring happens based on your knowledge, how well you do in the interview, how do you talk, how do you convey your concept, how much confidence you show, how does your resume look like. So MTech doesn't bring any significant advantage. Yeah,
Okay.
and 1 minute, I'm
Yeah.
answering one classroom student. Please tell.
Hello.
So, okay. I would say chances are not. See, if someone has to get in, chances are not really good. Okay. See, what you may have to do is you may have to manage some 2019, right? I'll tell you frankly what you might have to do. You may have to show some consultancy experience. Then with that consultancy, companies don't bother about your degree back. That's the only thing I can say. You can talk to me after the meeting, then I can tell you what is that. I mean, in short, you should not apply as a fresher. You should apply as some experience, so that companies don't see your engineering background. They rather see your projects, your prior experience, and based on that they may. But chances again are not true, because two different domains, right? Civil is a different domain, and electronics becomes different domain. Yeah, Farooq, what is your question?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah. Hi. This is Farooq from Kuwait. Actually, I did a MTech in 2014, but I don't have experience in engineering field. I'm working very separate non-IT field, so I'm very much interested in VLSI. So I just wanted to know, can I join, or is it benefit for me? And that's my question.
Yeah, one line answer is yes, it is possible for you to get job. I told you, right? The current market requirements are large. I mean, if you see, if this many companies have come, right? I mean, even if you keep going up, there are companies almost every 2-3 days also, right? 21st, 19th of July, then 13th of July, 12th of July, 9th of July, 8th of July, 4th of July. Every alternate day there were companies. That means those many open requirements are there in the market. And the number of
But actually,
candidates available are less. Okay, I'll just
but I,
complete it. One second. Even though sometimes companies say we want only freshers, 2021-20 pass out. As I said, if they don't have an option, what do? They go for whatever is available in the market. The same thing happens in the current market, where if the candidate is good and the company don't have any alternate, they hire you. The only challenge you are going to face is you are working you will be already working around 40 plus hours per week. If you leave aside everything, can you take out at least 30 hours for preparation? If you can take out, then you can join the course. If not, don't take the course. Then roughly,
yeah,
can you spend 4 hours per day? Only
yeah,
then you take up the course. If you
yeah.
can't do that, then don't take up the course, because unless you give time, see, job doesn't come based on the institute. You join any institute in the world, institute doesn't get you the job. Even if you go to topmost colleges, finally your hiring happens not based on your college alone, based on how you do in the exam or interview. That comes only by spending the quality time. Time you have to spend. So if you are able to take out time, yes, it is possible. Yeah, please tell me. You are saying something.
Yeah, thank you. I just one more question is that I have very huge gap, like very huge gap. So I think there will be a very less opportunity for me. So, but I have a very, I'm very much interested in making career in VLSI, because I did tech in VLSI as well. Because of some reason, I have to join other institute. Other sector. I have to go for a job because of some reason. Yeah.
Okay. See, answer to your question is, if you do well in the course, you will get a job. Okay, I will show you one more student was there. Okay, who joined 2 months back. Irsat. Okay, he's similar to your background. Okay, he joined in June. He was quick with the course. I mean, even he had a lot of gap actually. He had almost 6 to 7 years of gap. Then he started attending regular course. He felt the regular course is going slow for his pace. Then he moved to e-learning. E-learning means self-paced learning. Then I know he will get a job. He will get a job. The way he's completing the things and way he comes up with the questions and everything, he'll get a job. Now, what he has done from his side is he left the job, whatever he was doing. I don't know what he was doing. He left it. He has taken up training as a complete thing. And even I know that after 3 months, he will have a job. I mean, when we see a student, his effort, how he learns, I can tell, at least in the, given the market scenario, we can tell whether he's going to get a job or not. Now, the difference is even he had that gap actually. And I took because I know his background. And I told e-learning because he moved around June. He was feeling that the course is going slow for him. He had a lot of time and he could do things himself. So then we moved him to e-learning and then we started providing the support individual, right? In your case also, if you do well, it is possible you can get a job, and there are companies who need people who are good with the subject. Does it answer your question? So my point is, it's all comes down to your quality of preparation. If you do well, you will eventually get a job. Now it's matter of time. Now I cannot say that you'll get job in December itself or January itself. Some patience is required where you may have to wait. You may but eventually you will get a job if your quality is good.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
So Arnik here.
Yeah.
So which course is better, the offline mode or the online mode? Actually, I stay in Mumbai, so
Yeah. So tell me which mode is best always.
what?
Offline is always best, right? Always best because you directly see the trainer, you talk. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes I do turn on my video. Right now I didn't turn on, but generally we turn on the video, but you can't get the feel of offline training, right? The other
Okay.
advantage of offline training is there are other people who come to the institute. You talk to them, you know their progress. You share your learning with them. You share other people share their concepts with you. That feel you will miss in online training. Sitting at home, there is no reference for you. See, when you come to the class, let's say your learning is this, you know someone is here, someone is here. You'll try to meet this guy. Attending online, that comparison generally misses, that healthy competition misses. You become your own reference. That gap will be there to extend, but then people who are motivated, who want to learn, they can learn. I mean, what we try to do from our side is we'll try to make sure that you don't feel that gap. What is mean by that? I mean, making sure that you get that dedicated person with whom you can talk, and everyday sessions happen. It's not like you prepare full week, only weekends I'll do 1 hour session on Saturday, 1 hour on Sunday. That's not going to happen. Every day 4 hour session will happen. Sometimes I've seen even we are conducting 5 to 6 hours on this. Morning main session, afternoon support sessions. For digital, we have been doing the same thing actually. Last batch, we have done the same thing, almost 5 to 6 hours of training every day. So if you are, even if you are attending online, as long as your house environment, everything is good for preparation wise, there are no other disturbances, things will be fine. Because for you, only one reference is, am I completing all the assignments? As long as you are able to complete all your assignments properly, you don't need to worry about anything else. Eventually everything will be good, right? If you're completing assignments, you'll do well in evaluation test, you will do well in presentation mock interviews, and eventually you will also get the placements. Now the other thing you can do is, part of the time you can attend online, then you can move to offline. Everything is possible. You can do everything. Let's say you come for 1 month to Bangalore, attend, then again you go back to Mumbai and attend online. That is also possible.
Okay. And one more doubt, while you were scrolling that placement batch on the WhatsApp, so one of the
Yeah.
company was having 3 years bond. So generally the companies in VLSI domain, so they have this longer years of bond.
These days, 3 years bond is a norm. in most of the companies. Norm means typically what happens when a fresher joins, let's say he joins at 3 lakhs per annum or 3.5 lakhs per annum. After 1 month, some company comes and tells that I'll give you 4 lakhs per annum. After 2 months, the fresher won't even bother. He will join immediately. What is the problem that happens is the company which hired you first, let's say company A that hired you, they went through some effort to hire you. Then they have spent 2 months. 2 months during initial 6 months, you don't do anything productive. A lot of things you have to learn. They will prepare you for something. Whatever investment they do, it goes waste. The planning goes waste because they hired you with some plan. Then you join suddenly some other company, right? Again, someone tells you they'll give you 4.75 lakhs. They'll switch next month also. A lot of times it happens, and probably it's not their fault because you need money, right? So probably getting more money is good, but for this company it's a problem. So how do you avoid that? You take a commitment from the candidate that I'm going to stay with you for 3 years. That is why bond is there. Yeah, I think if you see 10 years back, 20 years back, that bond concept was not there much because companies knew that candidate will stick, but now it's not happening. People are switching a lot. To avoid that, they go for bond. Bond is a norm actually, except for product companies. Let's say you get into mentor. Some students got into mentor graphics from he got 20 lakhs per annum. Some students got into on semiconductors. They got 15 lakhs per annum. Samsung. They don't take bond because they know that not many companies can match their salaries, but 3.5 many companies will match, can give better than that. So to protect their investment, they are investing in you. To protect in their investment, they take a bond and they are not going to trouble you. They are not going to do bonded labor or anything. They're just going to make sure that you stay with the company because 3 years I can plan. If I know that someone is joining me, if I know that this employee is going to be with me for 3 years, even in the institute, I plan a lot of things for him. I will train him separately so that he becomes productive for me. Sometimes if you don't stay, then it's a problem, right? All the investment, all the planning goes wrong. That happens even in our case also, where we hire someone and he leaves within 1 month or 2 months. So companies take a bond. It is not to trouble you. They are not going to hold your salary at 3.5 lakhs. They may make it 5 lakhs, they may make it 7 lakhs, and all that happens also. Idea is to make you stay longer in the company. Any other questions?
Sir,
Yes, please tell me.
yeah, can you tell me the timings, sir, of this institute? I mean, Saturday and Sunday, what will be there for regular batch?
See, weekend training, weekend batches. Mostly Saturday and Sunday training will be from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 in most of the times. In some cases, it can be 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. because institute courses run in 2 slots, morning slot, and afternoon slot. As I told you, we cannot keep all 100 sessions in morning slot, right? Because something has to happen in afternoon also, right? That is how we can utilize the trainer time. So there is a chance that sometimes session can happen in the afternoon slot, but that will be informed to you advance. But mostly we'll try
What
for
about
morning
the
slot.
regular, sir? What about the regular batch timings, sir?
Regular batch timing, I told you, right? The timings will be, where was it? Yeah. 6 days per week, 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day. Sunday will be off. And every session you attend, you get the recorded video access for 10 days.
Okay, after one, there will be afternoon session, lab session will be there, or else in that only,
No, no,
sir?
no, no. The same session is theory, lab.
Okay, okay, sir, okay. Okay, sir, thank you.
See, there's no point teaching someone 8 hours. Okay? This is a stage where you're becoming independent. Independent doesn't happen by me holding you for every hour. I can't make you independent. I have to give you a problem. I have to tell you, you solve the problem and come back. Then you start becoming independent. This after 1:30 is where you start doing the things yourself. If I tell you I'll sit throughout the day from 9 to 6, you do as per my instructions. Then when will you learn yourself? So hence, this much is sufficient. Any other questions?
Hi, sir.
Hello. Yes, sure, sir. Can you tell me what is the
No,
main
Shashi
difference between
Kumar.
RT?
Yes, please wait. Shashi Kumar, please ask the question.
Okay, fine.
Sir, I completed my MSc Electronics in Applied Electronics, sir, in 2020 batch.
Okay.
How about the job opportunities from product side, sir? Product development side.
See, product development side, I'll tell you frankly, being from an MSc background, you should not be very particular about the companies, because a lot of companies who come for hiring ask for BTech and MTech. Only,
Okay, sir.
I would say 50% of the companies ask for MSc background. Now, if you ask me why is it so, that's company's choice. I cannot tell you why you are only hiring BTech, MTech. Why not MSc? It's their choice. So, given that, you should not have too many restrictions that I should only get into Qualcomm, Intel, or Nvidia, Broadcom. You can't have that restrictions to start with. Your primary interest should be to get into a VLSI company, get into a job. You perform well.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Then after 2 to 3 years, 3 years, move on to the product company. Even though you are 2020 pass out and even though you are MSc, as I told you, because given the current market scenario, if you do well, you definitely have a good chance of getting job.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Because there are companies
thank you,
who
sir.
consider MSc people also. There were
sir.
2-3 companies who were particular about MSc also. They were okay to hire MSc itself because they thought that these MSc people will be more stable with the job. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Yes, you had some question.
Yeah, hi, sir. What is the main difference between FPGA course and RTL course, and what jobs they will do when they join the company?
See, in RTL course, RTL design and integration mostly refers to ASIC flow. See, if you see, chips can be implemented in 2 ways. One is using ASIC, application specific integrated circuit. One is through FPGA. FPGA is already we have a boards like Xilinx or Ultra, different boards are there, right? So these boards will be, I mean, whatever RTL code we do, we synthesize it and we put it onto the board. And while doing that, we have to concern about floor plan and the timing, closure, everything. The people who work into front-end domain, they go through a different flow altogether. Link, CDC, synthesis, HTA, there's a different flow. FPGA has a different flow altogether. So till the time you develop your Verilog code, both are same. Till the time you verify them also, it's same, because in both the cases you have to verify in the same manner. The flow after that differs, because ASIC has a different dedicated floor plan, placement, STA, layout, everything. FPGA has a different flow. That is where they do differ.
Okay, which means both will write the same code.
Same Verilog code. In both the cases, you write same Verilog code. You verify in the same manner, but the way it is taken to the final product is different. In one case, you go through a dedicated customized process. In second cases, you are targeting a specific board onto which you want to put your gate level code.
Okay, which means RTL is ASIC flow and FPGA is another flow.
No, RTL is there in both the domains. See, RTL is nothing to do with ASIC or FPGA. Even if you start with FPGA, RTL will be there. Because the way you develop design, that style is called as RTL.
Okay.
The style that is used for developing the design is RTL style. It is register transfer level. That will be there both in FPGA, it will be there in ASIC also. The difference comes in the backend flow, majorly. Where you do the floor, I mean physical design, the way you do DFT, custom layout, that is where the things majorly differ.
Okay. But as a design engineer, we don't need to bother about the background process, right?
As a design engineer, we don't need to worry. But when you go to the integration level, the difference will be there. See, if you are talking about only design perspective, both ASIC and FPGA are same.
Okay, then what is the difference these courses are making?
These courses are making difference. In FPGA course, you learn entire flow. You learn
Okay.
entire flow. If you come to functional verification course, you learn system Verilog and UVM. When you go to FPGA course, you learn Verilog. Then the remaining focus, digital and Verilog, remaining things will be more specific to FPGA. You take a code, you learn how to synthesize it, how to do the planning, floor plan, then how to put it onto the FPGA board, then how do you close the timing violations. That will be the emphasis. I mean, kind of you learn the entire FPGA system design. When you come to functional verification, you are not going to learn the backend aspects. You are going to learn mostly from a verification perspective. Develop, given a Verilog code, how am I going to write the test bench? How am I going to use system Verilog and UVM to do the verification? So in front-end course, specific to ASIC, you are only going to learn the front-end aspect. In FPGA course, you are going to get exposure to the entire system design. Is that clear to you?
Yeah, so I can say RTL is a sub part of FPGA course, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, from when the next batch will start? And any
Next
new
batch
batch?
is that this batch or a
Eh,
completely new batch you are talking?
I mean this batch, like
Yeah.
from
See,
when the
this
20.
batch basically today is a demo session, right? 24th September. 28th September course will commence. Now, why this delay is 3-4 days delay is tomorrow we have a physical design demo session, and we need to give 1-2 days for closing the enrollments. Now, what is it has to do with physical design is for all the batches, initial 3-4 weeks training is common because we need to teach digital for both of them. We need to teach some Linux fundamentals, how to work with GVim. Some basic things we have to teach is common. Like what are the common things? Digital plus basics of GVim, how to work with GVim editor. The one I'm typing is a GVim editor plus Linux basics. This goes for roughly 4 weeks. That will be common. So hence we start both the physics, all the courses combined on 28th September. Once this 3-4 weeks is done, the batches will differ. Their schedule, everything will differ, the content. So the question, if the question is when the course is commencing, 28th September it is. It will be on
Okay,
Wednesday.
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, any new batch will start in October, sir?
October, yes, there will be one batch starting in the end of October.
End of October.
Yes, the last week, that is the last Saturday, like we have this Saturday, around it might be 28th or 29th of October.
Okay, sir. So actually, I have some issues in my like house. So I would I would like to join in October. So that's why I'm asking. So if it possible, sir, to me join in the October batch.
It is possible, of course. You can join in October batch.
Okay, sir. Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir.
The next question is about synthesis course. See, synthesis, I would say for a fresher, it's not good to do synthesis course because there is not much job opportunities for synthesis engineers, freshers wise. If you are experienced, yes, there are opportunities. Compared to verification, I mean, between verification and synthesis, verification is always the best domain because we don't even get synthesis requirements. Reason is the companies think that freshers don't undergo synthesis training. So I don't get much opportunities. Maybe 5-6 opportunities in an overall year I may get. So whereas verification could be around 150-200 opportunities also. Because simple calculation was around 12 to 13, 12 opportunities in a month. 12 into 12 might even turn to 140 plus opportunities. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
The coding experience. Is there any difficulty for me?
See,
Hello,
the
sir.
course is going to, yeah, I understood. See, it depends upon your skill set. If you ask me whether things will be difficult or not, everything has its own difficulty, right? Even if you say physical design, it's difficult. Every topic has its own difficulty. What is that makes it easy for is if the trainer is good, the teacher is good, things can be made easy for you. Now, teacher can make the course easy, can also make the course very difficult. right?
Okay.
Like I learned during my BTech, I learned electromechanical machines, DC motors, synchronous motors, AC motors, lot of things, right? I never understood anything there. At the same thing, if some other teacher has taught with a proper manner why we do something, what is different at very fundamental level, things might have been different. Okay, so the difference there was the teacher, I mean, who gives you that fundamental ideas of the motors and machines, then things you can do yourself. That is what you're going to get here. Whatever course you do, you're going to get a good foundation through which you will be able to learn. Even when you come to coding, even if you are
Okay.
not good with coding, you will teach everything from the fundamentals.
Okay, sir.
Any other
Sir,
question?
one more question, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can
Sir,
hear you.
when
Please
the
continue.
weekend batch will start?
Weekend batch will start from next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Then you can enroll now itself so that you get
Yes,
access
sir.
to the videos. Yeah, please. Tell me.
Sir, I am from Sudbury Semiconductors. So, what about us? In which time will join the meeting every day?
Everything will be informed. Like you have a group, right? In that WhatsApp group, you will be
Yes.
informed about the exact schedule.
Okay, sure.
So for other people, the context is generally we do provide company trainings. I mean, almost half of our batch consists of people from companies. Generally, what happens? Some company will hire. Let's say in this case, Stockbridge will hire 10 people. They give the 10 people to me, to us, for 6 months training or 7, whatever timing. At the end, they again go and join into Stockbridge. So we are almost tied up with 15 plus companies in this model, where companies hire, they give me the candidates and I take them through the training, and then we give the candidates back to the company. So this is the confidence companies also place in our training. Now, what is the advantage of this for you? You may ask, what is the advantage for it? If I find any good candidate, someone who does decent or above average, I can tell to those companies that I have this many good candidates. The companies does hire. Any other questions?
So for RTL and FPGA course, so the company prefer the fresher one or the experienced more?
See, if you are experienced, you always have better opportunities compared to a fresher. Because as an experienced person, you can do things better, right? Without having any support from the other people. When it comes to RTL verification course and even FPGA, there are a lot of opportunities for freshers also. Whatever I shown you sometime back, this job came today, 2 days back. They were all for freshers only. They were not for experienced people. The companies which come to institute for hiring, they only come for fresher hiring. Because if it is experience, they don't go to institute, they get it from the job portal. Now, Monster, LinkedIn, there are so many platforms, right? There they get the profiles. Is that clear?
So actually in that, so most of the course are from DFT and functional verification like that. So just I had a question like, do they hire the FPGA also as a fresher?
Yes, FPGA also a lot of hiring happens in freshers, for freshers. Even the one company I told you, right? They wanted to hire only after very long. GL communication. That would be a FPGA company. Only FPGA companies say that we want after very long itself. Because for FPGA engineer, they don't expect to know system Verilog and UVM. So there are opportunities in FPGA also. Even I told you in the beginning of the session that I met one company, Capgemini in that case. They wanted to hire specific number of FPGA engineers. And they asked me, can you give me those many people? That is where I started telling you that you can even consider FPGA also. Any other questions? I mean, what is that about FPGA is? There are hardly 2-3 institutes in India. Whereas the number of people, companies who hire is big. I mean, you just go to Google and just say FPGA companies. You get a big list. There will be a lot of companies actually. Now they have to hire from somewhere, right? They have to hire from somewhere. They can't get from outside India. So that is where there is a requirement. The training institutes are not able to fulfill the requirements. And that's because people don't want to join FPGA training many times. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So like the two sessions, right? Weekends.
Yes.
So weekly they will be going 4 hour sessions.
Yes.
Okay. But weekends they come person for like 4 + 4 8 hours. So what will we do on this weekdays? Like, can we get a 4 hours like record session to go through?
Yeah, that's what. See, what we are going to do is we are going to provide you with all the recorded videos of the entire course. As I told you, we will be providing you with during full week training. Just complete. You will get access to the complete course recorded videos. So weekend batch. We will be going through that videos because just relying on weekend training is not going to work for you, because weekends how much we can do, right? Weekdays we can distribute, right? 6 days means a lot of time to distribute the entire coursework. In 2 days we can't do too many things. You will be exhausted with the amount of content we are going to teach. So what we are going to do is we will give you access to recorded videos. When you give recorded video access, we'll give you option to learn at your pace. These are all the videos. Let's say Verilog training has 55 videos. And I'm going to give you a schedule where I would have told you, if you want to, like I would have told you, if you want to learn in relaxed mode, if you have 12 hours per week. Normal mode, 18 hours per week. I mean, some mode, you do your own calculation. Realistically, how many hours I can take out in a week? Accordingly, you choose. So the point is that you don't need to finish the course in 6 months. Let's say you don't have time. How can you finish in 6 months? You can target for 9 months overall. Accordingly, you can do. So while you are doing, we will have weekend sessions to support you. What is the intention of weekend sessions is to revise everything that you have covered in that week. And whatever doubts you have, we'll clarify. We'll also support you with the course assignments, and we'll make you do the things hands-on. That process continues every week.
So in the weekends.
In the weekends.
So second question is like already I'm working professional. Yeah. So how like if I want to transit my career to this?
I think we discussed. I told you right other day. I told you that since you are based in a VLSI based company, you can show your experience relevant into the training domain. Let's say you undergo training in functional verification. Show your resume as if it is relevant to functional verification.
How will it work?
Sorry?
It will work.
It works very much. See, because during the course we do a lot of projects actually. One of the important thing from the course is during this 6 to 7 months of training, I would say 7 months of training, we do all these projects. I'll show you. For now, see, we have skipped this portion. I swear, because people were not able to cope up with so many things. But if you want to do, there is that course. If you go here, if you go for a weekend course, that is there. I2C protocol and control is there. But in the live training, we removed that project altogether because people were not able to cope up with so many things in such short duration. So wherever we feel, we keep dynamically assessing the course. So at the end of the day, it's not about how many things we did. It's about few things we did. Let's say we did only these things and we are perfect with that. That is what our emphasis will be on. So thing is, if you can show these many projects, you can easily show 3 years experience, easily. And you can even get a job. There are many people who have done that also. There was one person who was from some completely different domain. He was working in some government sector. He was able to get through. I think he joined our course in February, not 21. It's actually 20. He might have connected us in 21, but he joined in 22. He got almost 3 to 4 job offers after training. Though I don't have a conversation with him, but He was from a different domain. The difference is, what is the difference in his case is he was working night 11 to morning 4 o'clock. He used to prepare every day. He used to sit at night 11 o'clock and prepare till morning 4 and then sleep. That level of dedication is required. If I just say I will go through the videos and I won't do anything, it's not going to work. Some level of dedication is required. He got a very good package. I can't reveal the packages, but a very good package actually, right? Not like 5-6, a good, much better package. Coming from a different domain altogether, some non-relevant VLSI work he was doing, but he was able to get. I have many such examples. People from teaching domain joining into VLSI after the course. And if you ask me what is the thing that made the difference in this entire thing is, these projects made the difference. If you go to other places, you don't get this level of projects. Mostly projects are much simpler, which I believe some of our students can finish in half a day also. The project can be finished in half a day. If they have done these courses, these projects, they can finish other institute projects in half a day. That much knowledge, gain, expertise they were gained. So any other questions? Recorded videos is not for lifetime. Recorded videos is for the course duration. It can be 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, only for that duration. It's not for lifetime. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So how do I get any further communication, like when to start and when this, like I have got an only mail to join this session, so like any
No, you
group
want
or
to
like
know how
email?
to enroll for the course, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so basically if you want to enroll for the course, you can go to this link. You will get the account details, enroll steps. Go to this link, vlsguru.com/p-transfer. So if you go there, it will have a steps that you need to follow. Basically, first you make the payment. Then in the end, once you are done, you need to fill the enrollment form. There you will enter all your details. What is your course, whether which mode you are joining, online, offline, your email ID, everything. So once the admin gets those details, then they will support you with the rest of the process.
So where do I get the fee structure?
See, fee structure, you can call this number based on which course you are enrolling. You can call this number. They will give you complete details. Or you can WhatsApp.
Okay, actually, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Got it. So actually, sir, I have enrolled through Rise's company. So I have filled up their form. So through them, I have got enrolled. So from them, like the company, I didn't get any like a notification. But from VLSI Guru, I just got mail that your training will start then. And so
Okay.
also.
See, typically what happens? See, Rise is one group which we have been working with for this support. I mean, this kind of fresher placement. Sometimes company also do their own assessment, right? To hire you, what they're going to do, they're going to pay your salary, pay your training fee. So they're going to do the assessment, whether you are good or not. So it might be in that process. So you can connect with this number, the number I given. His name is Vaibhav.
Okay,
He'll
sir.
give you the updates.
Okay, sir. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Sir, when will the lab session start?
Lab sessions will start from the day one itself. If I am doing digital design, what is lab session for digital design? There is no lab session, right? It's problem solving sessions. I've taught you some K-maps, how to do K-map based questions. That will be the lab sessions. When we go to very long, the actual lab sessions will start. So I would say the day we start very long, the lab sessions will start from the same day. Is that clear to you?
Okay, sir. Then we need to, on the first day itself, we need to take laptop and do.
Oh, see, for digital, you don't need to take a laptop. It's a good to have laptop, but even if you don't have a laptop for next 1-2 weeks, you can manage, because digital will be mostly theoretical, where you can do everything on the paper, in the notes you can do. But once we start with very long, you should have a laptop. But if you are coming to the institute, there is a lab rooms where you can practice.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You will be getting server access through which you will get the tool and practice. Any other questions? Yeah.
So, sir, can we enroll for online and then can we switch to offline?
I told you, right? It is possible. You can attend online, you can come to offline, you can again go back to online. Anything which is convenient for you, you can do. Because for me, both courses are same. Even in terms of the fee, everything is same. Schedule is same. It's your convenience. You can choose accordingly. Any other questions?
Hello, sir. So, after completing the course, how many months now so we can access the tools and lab materials like that?
See,
Is there any
up
restriction?
to few months we can provide the access. Generally, what happens when you enroll for this functional verification course, we'll give you one login, web login, through which you will be able to access the tool even after the course completion. That won't be a problem. The labs means the materials access will be there. Presentations, assignments, everything you can continue to access.
So the tool access, how many months we can
No,
access?
it's a login you get. Probably it will be there at least for 1-2 years. That will be active.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Those in classroom, any questions you have?
Is there any batch currently going
Hello,
on?
sir.
Okay, 1 second. Please hold on. Online student, please hold on. There is a batch going on for FPGA. It's in the middle already. We have completed 2-3 months of FPGA portions. You have to start with Verilog. Typically, what happens is for all these courses, front-end courses, functional verification, RTL design integration, or even FPGA, initial 2 months is common. After that, we divide.
Is there any change in the duration between verification and FPGA?
Duration actually for FPGA will be less. It finishes in 6 months exactly. Functional verification will go for 7 months, 6.5 to 7.
So in that FPGA we will be mostly covering Verilog and system Verilog.
System Verilog we won't be covering. We'll cover digital Verilog advanced level, then we directly move on to FPGA. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Rahul.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was asking that from tomorrow our class is going to start. So, what topic will we discuss tomorrow so that I can prepare for that topic today itself?
I'll tell you. The course is going to commence from 28th September. Tomorrow there won't be any session. Day after tomorrow, till 27th it's break. 28th September course is going to start. Why I told you, right? We need to give break for other batch which is starting tomorrow. For them also we need to march. Hence we are giving 3 days break. From 28th September we are going to start. If you want to get comfortable, what you can do is you can revise some digital electronics concepts. Something about maths, something about truth tables, some basic logic gates. Those you can revise, like number systems, radix format, complement, ones complement, twos complement. Those concepts you can revise.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my name is Raju, sir. Sir, actually, I have 3 years education gap, sir.
Yeah.
Before BTech, there is any problem for any other jobs for any other company?
I told you the same way, right? It doesn't matter which year you passed out. Starting from 2014, even 2012 also you are passed out. 2018, 2019, doesn't matter. If your preparation quality is good, chance of getting a job in the current market is good. There have been people who have been getting jobs. So even if you have 3 years gap, it's not going to be a problem, because I told you, right? What is the point is companies always want the best. If they don't get best, what they do? They reduce one level of their requirement, because you can't stop hiring, because you are not just getting anyone. You can't stop hiring. They hire for next level of person they hire, and then they ramp up that person for their requirements. In this case, currently the market is such that there are not many people in the market. They will hire you even if you have 3 years gap. If you perform well, they will hire you.
Oh, okay, sir. And
ideally, what company would want? Company would want
Sir?
someone who has passed out in 2021-22, very good with aptitude, very good with technical skills, everything. If they don't get that, they will relax somewhere, right? They'll either relax percentage or they will relax year of pass out. That is what is happening in the current market. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, and another one is and duration of digital design for testing, sir.
Design for test, that course is 6 months duration.
Oh, okay, sir. When will you start this course, sir?
That course also will start from 28th September only. Even all the
Okay.
courses, every course, physical design, DFD, functional verification, FPGA, RTL design integration, everything will start from 28th September. After 1 month or 2 months, the course will, batches will differ. We'll have a different course structure.
Oh, okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Those attending online?
There is a difference in formal and the functional verification?
Yes, formal verification is different. Functional verification is different. Formal verification is again has multiple domains. One major aspect of functional formal verification is called as logical equivalence checking. It's a different domain altogether. Both are different. Any other questions? If you don't have any questions, we'll end the session here. One thing I want to tell, in case you would like to enroll for the course, those who enrolled for the course, that's good. I mean, they're already added into the WhatsApp group. They will get updates through that WhatsApp group. Those who haven't enrolled and would like to enroll, I suggest you to enroll as soon as possible. Reason is, once you, let's say, you say 28th September it's starting, you enroll on 30 September. It will be a problem. Reason is, you miss 2 or 3 days of sessions. Once you miss one day is like roughly 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours. If you miss 2 days, means you miss 7 hours of lectures. Then coping up with third lecture becomes very difficult because you don't have that basic what has been covered in the previous 2 sessions. You don't have that. You find it difficult, and it becomes a difficult for next remaining 2-3 weeks altogether because you don't follow today's topic. Again, same problem comes next day. So in case you have decided to enroll, please enroll before 28th as soon as possible. The other advantage is you get access to the course material, you're added into the groups. And that last minute hassle won't be there if you enroll quickly. Okay, if you want to enroll and if you need further information, please call this number or just WhatsApp. You'll get all the details. Okay, so we will end the session here. Thank you, everyone. So those who are attending DFD session, today at 4:30 there will be a demo session. Okay, you, in case you don't get the link, you call this number. Okay, because sometimes they may miss. You please make sure that you call them and get the details. And in case you are looking for RTL integration course or FPGA course demo session, please send WhatsApp. For all the thing, you send communication to this WhatsApp. Our manager will reply back to you with the required details. Okay, we will end the session here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.